From dusk to dawn, 24 hours a day, NTA International is with you in your living room, office, everywhere and anywhere. We provide the company you desire in terms of balanced and up-to-date news, programs and the best of entertainment. Tune in to DSTV channel 251, GoTV channel 91, Freeview UK channel 264, or you can download www.visiontv.co.uk. App for iOS or Android. You can also see us on Facebook and YouTube for quality content.
Many thanks for joining us for another edition of Newsline. I am Jennifer Igwe. A warm welcome. Today we're starting with the roles of parents and link to societal ills. Parents are the first teacher of a child. Their impacts go a long way in building character and crucial developmental foundation that can steer a child in different directions of life. When this is neglected, it has negative implications on a child and the society. How bad can this be? Our feature on it will shed more light. Then, corporal punishment is a form of discipline in which some measure of pain is served a child as a means of correction. Should this approach be used on toddlers? A recent case of one who allegedly died from corporal punishment is on our lineup today. Then, herbal medicine, according to historians, have been used since prehistoric times. Experts say it requires appropriate knowledge, but those who mix herbal concoctions today, are they aware of this? Do they follow specific procedures? How safe is it? Stay tuned for our feature on this. And as usual, we have love stories, empowerment initiatives, and an event by a brand that can make you a millionaire. Mouth-watering indeed. But before we roll our Newsline stories, the news segment first, and Elizabeth Omoruyi is ready for it. Hello, Lizzie.
Hello, Jennifer. It's so nice to see you again. One of the impediments to the attainment of the social and professional responsibilities of the law profession in Nigeria is inadequate synergy between the bar and the bench. Former Minister of Foreign Affairs Henry Odein Ajumogobia noted this in Lagos at the inauguration of the UNILAG Law Alumni Association with the Vice President Yemi Osinbajo in attendance. Status correspondent Adamu Sambo, Jide Onifade reports.
Where two or more members of the law profession are gathering, undoubtedly issues affecting the profession will be a topic of the day. One-time Minister of Petroleum, Odein Ajumogobia, is tasking members of the profession on the need to bring more efficiency into justice delivery.
To function effectively, lawyers and judges must perform their duties in accordance with the best traditions and ideals of both bench and bar.
This event, tagged the 2022 Great Homecoming, is meant to celebrate graduates of the faculty since inception in 1962 till date. In a week-long activities, present are Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, former Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation, Kanu Agabi, and several others who have served or still serving the country in different capacities.
The real evidence of the success of a place of learning and inquiry, such as a university, is the success of its alumni. The reputation and goodwill of the alumni is the rationale for the prestige of the school. And I think we must all be proud of the remarkable array of alumni of the UNILAG Faculty of Law and their great achievements, not just in law, but practically in all fields of human endeavor.
Be more positive about the country. Don't brand it corrupt. Don't be negative about it. We are a good people, and we shall get there.
Vice Chancellor of the University, Oluwatoyin Ogundipe, Dean, Faculty of Law, Igebolo Deoku, and Professor Taiwo Oshikwito, Chairman, Unilag Law Alumni Relations, pleaded to the alumni to come forward in lifting the faculty and the university.
The university belongs to the alumni.
The great homecoming event was put together by the University of Lagos Law Alumni Relations Committee and the Faculty of Law. In Lagos, Jude Onifade, NTA News.
Into electoral matters, the results of the chairmanship election in the 6 area councils of the Federal Capital Territory have been released by the Independent National Electoral Commission. Adiza Ebony reports that APC and PDP won 3 seats each.
Results from the 6 area councils in the FCT chairmanship election has been released. From Abuja Area Council, APC won with 7,280, while the PDP polled 4,062 votes and ADP 25.
We cannot go into declaring a candidate winner because the winning party here does not have a candidate that we can return as a winner.
From Gwagwalada, APC polled 11,125 votes, PDP 9,597, and ABGA got 106 votes.
Abubakar of APC, having satisfied the requirement of the law, is hereby declared the winner.
While from Kuje, PDP emerged winner with 13,301 votes, APC 7,694 votes, and LP 79.
Suleiman Abdullah Sabo of PDP, having certified the requirements of the law, is hereby declared the winner.
And from Buari Area Council, PDP polled 13,045 votes, while APC 7,697 and ABGA 603 votes.
John Gabaya Shekwogwaza of PDP, having satisfied the requirements of the law, is hereby declared the winner.
From Kwali Area Council, APC won with 7,646 votes, PDP 7,345, and ADP 70 votes.
Sunday Danladi Chia of APC, having satisfied the requirements of the law, is hereby declared the winner.
And from Amak, PDP emerged winner with 19,302 votes, APC 13,240, and PRP 287.
Christopher Zaka of People's Democratic Party, having satisfied the requirements of the law, is hereby declared the winner and is returned elected.
With this announcement of results from the 6 area councils of the FCT, the chairmanship election has come to an end. The only area council yet to have its chairman declared is Abuja, won by the APC. Hadiza Ebune, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Center for Democratic Development, CDD, has expressed concern over the 4 polling units in Ward 5 of the Abuja Municipal Area Council, AMAC, that recorded low voter turnout in the FCT Area Council elections. Miriam Amado reports that the CDD program officer made this known while briefing journalists on the group's findings.
Observe that the general turnout of voters in the FCT Area Council elections was impressive, particularly in Gwagwalada, where a crowd came out in their numbers. The group also noted the incident of monies exchanging hands in Abaji Southeast Ward and Gwagwalada.
The strategy of vote buying involved party agents asking voters who had been induced to converge in a particular location away from the polling unit to sell their votes. Also, the problem of poor crowd management, which led to INEC officials being overcrowded by voters, thereby disrupting the general electoral process.
CDD also pointed out the partial malfunctioning of bimodal voter accreditation system BVAS across some polling units, while in others it was a failure.
The
Beavers, we are waiting for INEC to respond. We tried to reach them during the course of this failure. The question kept coming, the feedback kept coming that they were on top of the situation.
CDD observers' data show that 33.2% of INEC officials were women, while 66.8% men across the areas the group monitored. Miriam Amadi, NTA News.
The King of Okori Ogale and Onee Ncha X, His Royal Highness Apollos Chu, has added another feather to his cap. This time around, he was awarded the most nationalistic royal father in Nigeria by the Arewa Pastors Non-Denominational Initiative for Peace Forum. Chimdima Undubisi completes the story.
It is not often that one sees a contingent of clergymen from the northern part of the country visit our palace of the southern traditional ruler. When that happens, it is considered a show of unity. Well, that's what is playing out here as members of Arewa Pastors Non-Denominational Initiative for Peace Forum pay homage to King Apollos Chu in Eleme, Rivers State. The monarch, who has come to be known as a detribalized Nigerian, as well as a bridge builder between southern and northern Nigeria, is being honored.
That has so much consumed you as a leader for humanity and for all races. You deserve to be singled out in Africa.
Arewa pastors saw this light from that far. Oh, it's wonderful.
It wasn't only pleasantries that were exchanged, but also ideas on how to eliminate tribalism and division to preach the gospel of national cohesion. The Egbere Meru Kuri and Ogale Eleme Onee Ncha X commended the priests' resilience in standing for their faith through thick and thin.
I really celebrate the men of God. You are the one that the message, that right message is God already embedded into you. The kingdom suffer when our hand go into some bad behavior that is not pleasing the God. Let God abandon us. And God will now also send this, let this community and suffering. Yes. And then everybody must try to see that your hands are clean, the leadership. You want prayer, how we clean. Because your hand is not clean, God will bring strangers to take your land from you. First, some of our neighbors are encroaching on our land. You know, as people that are supposed to do the right thing, benefiting that bring happiness to orphan, bring happiness to widows, you take from them and eat, you cost the land.
Both parties say they see each other as worthy allies in the crusade for continued peace and oneness of Nigeria. Chimdima Ndubisi, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari congratulates Governor Mohammed Bello of Zamfara State on the occasion of his 60th birthday, marked on the 12th of February, describing him as a dynamic young man who with a lot of promises. In a message signed by the Senior Special Assistant on Media, Garba Shehu, the president describes the manner Governor Mohammed interacts with the citizens of his state as impressive, while appreciating his zeal for sustained efforts to overcome criminals in his states. In other news, the federal government says the branding of Canadian protesters as terrorists amounts to double standards. Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed stated this at a media briefing in Oro, Kwara State. Anthony Forson reports.
Canadian truckers' protests over COVID-19 vaccine mandates and other COVID restrictions began last month, with their protests taking its toll on smooth operations. The government has branded them a terrorist or insurrectionists and have been subjected to a number of clampdowns by the same government and private organizations. Giving details on how the protesters are being handled, Lai Mohammed explained that GoFundMe has shut down the campaign to raise funds for the truckers after raising over $10 million. Twitter has also suspended the truckers' account, while Ontario government has frozen access to millions of dollars donated through online platforms such as Give and Go to the protesters.
Sorry, Jimmy Watson, the mayor of Ottawa, Canada's capital city, has also declared a state of emergency in the city in response, saying the protests pose a threat to residents' safety.
Relating the truckers' protests to Nigeria, Lai Mohammed recalled.
During the NSAS protests, which culminated in the blockage of public roads and massive destruction of government and private property, Canada was one of the countries that spoke out in support of the protesters.
Even though Nigeria is not gloating on the unfortunate incident in Canada, truth, he said, must be told.
Recall also that Twitter actively supported the NSAS protesters and even raised funds, while GoFundMe was used to raise funds for the protesters. These are the same entities that are now rushing to distance themselves from the protests in Canada and even denying them the use of their platforms. This is similar to what played out during the January 6, 2021 insurrection at the U.S. Capitol in Washington, D.C., where those involved are either still being investigated or have been charged to court. I don't blame them. Nobody wants their country destroyed under the guise of protests.
Nigeria's successful negotiation with Twitter to fashion out measures to enable a responsible use of the platform, which will apply to other social media platforms, is a global trailblazer aimed at preventing harmful content from social media platforms. Anthony Forson, NTA News.
Talking economy, promoting trade and investment that will benefit the Nigerian economy, as well as address issues affecting ease of doing business, dealing with regulators and foreign exchange, was the crux of a dialogue between European Union and members of the European Union Chamber Nigeria held in Lagos. Amaka reports.
This gathering comprises a high-powered delegation from the European Union and European Business Chamber, an association uniting main European investors and corporate organizations in Nigeria to optimize business opportunities for job creation and economic development. Describing the European Union as Nigeria's largest trading partner, the EU ambassador to Nigeria, Samuela Isopi, re-emphasized the need to reinforce economic partnerships between both entities to deepen investment and foster economic growth.
Development is about, private sector, is about developing the economy. When I say private sector, it's not only to attract or help European Union companies, but also to create good conditions for the Nigerian private sector to be able to contribute to the development of the country.
Head of Trade and Economic Section, European Union to Nigeria and Economic Communities of West African States, ECOWAS, John Taylor, explained that there are huge economic potentials in Nigeria and the EU has been part of investment both in the oil and non-oil sectors.
We need to find the right balance between the EU and Nigeria to enable farmers here and producers here to grow. And one example where the EU is already very active is the dairy sector.
The European Business Chamber Nigeria was established in 2018. It has about 40 members. It comprises of 4 working groups which include the finance, trade across border, sustainability and human resource and skills development working groups. In Lagos, Amaka O, NTA News.
The connotative word of a park suggests relaxation and an avenue to create fun. But in Plateau State, there is a garden that encapsulates much more than this, with instructive elements attached to how relevant it has become. Ngozi Chude tells us more.
This seemingly simple-looking park, before now,
a traditional recreational center in Jos, Plateau State, today symbolizes a rebirth. The city of Jos, its environs and parts of Plateau State have for the greater part of 2 decades witnessed violent conflicts, resulting in countless loss of lives and massive destruction of property over time.
There is a lot of bloodshed. Stop the killing. Stop the killing.
That causes from 1992 when Zangon Kataf started, and then 1991 here in Plateau, and then 2001, September 7, 2001 on the Plateau, up to date, that consistently listen, it was because unhealed memory.
This peace park is therefore symbolic and yet riveting, capturing the narrative of a people who realize past misdeeds and are embracing a new future.
This park is symbolic in the sense that it creates a platform for conflict parties, individuals and communities to come here to talk to each other, and by so doing breaking down the walls of prejudice, and so that they're able to understand themselves and build a consensus around touchy issues of conflict and to live in peace, most importantly. So it's a very symbolic place.
What better way to depict forgiveness and peace than Nigeria's green and white colors, free of encumbrances weighing it down? For Plateau State and its people, expectations are high, and like a new leaf, they hope that this new chapter begins to bear fruit.
Thank you, Ngozi. And next is Sports Update.
After losing their opening game to China, the Tigers bounced back to beat France to keep hope alive, and in the last group match they defeated Mali 73-69 to qualify for the Women's FIBA World Cup in Belgrade.
That was really the only thing they wanted, was to book their ticket. Not only have they won against France, they have beaten their African rivals.
The second edition of the Nigerian and International Community Golf Tournament has held at the Ikoyi Club in Lagos. The one-day competition, which featured 116 amateur golfers, focused on promoting the existing cordial relationship between the Nigerian golfers and players from other countries.
Of it is that it makes them feel at home, and it makes them understand the hospitality of Nigerians.
This event happened to be a totally different one because there's a charity aspect to it. They'll be doling out some checks to charities in and around Ikoyi Club.
At the end, Team Nigeria won it 17.5 to 11.5 in a double match play. Winners have emerged in a one-day polo tournament held in Abuja to celebrate the turbaning of 3 members of Abuja Polo Club who were recently honored with